Tēnā koutou katoa, I'm Anne Thorp and this is KAI ORA. I've got some mouth-watering kai for you, and my manuhiri today are Annabelle Harris from Waiheke and Wena Harawira from Tūhoi at the base of the Urawetas. I've convinced Wena and Annabelle to come up to Pakiri and have an MDO and eat my kai on KAI ORA. I'm feeling really cheeky today. I'm going to have a girly lunch. I've got some oysters here to start off with. I've got some snapper, some tiger prawns over there, and all my greens today are from the Matakana markets. Mā te reka o te garlic, chilli, ginger me te coriander ka mau ki te kiko kiko o ngā kaura iti nei. Nā te ara, ka takoto e te. Well, it's all go here for my first dish. I'm cutting these beautiful tiger prawns in half down the centre. They're going to lay on their backs on my grill here. I'm using rice bran oil on my grill, and I'm just going to chuck these tiger prawns on there like that. Now I'm using that rice bran oil because of its high temperature threshold. I'm not going to flip these over. The shell's going to take the brunt of the heat. And that flesh is just going to cook through the shell. And that's how we like it, because it's going to stay delicate and juicy. Now these should only take about 3 to 5 minutes to cook. They're very delicate. Don't overdo them. You know the golden rule? Never overcook seafood under any circumstances. Now over this I'm going to sprinkle some ginger, a bit of garlic, and colour them up with a bit of chilli. Now all that brown stuff oozing out is flavour. So if you don't mind, keep it there. I'm just throwing up which ones are mine. Let me show you how delicate these little morsels are. Look at the undersides of it. Gorgeous, beautiful colour. That flesh there is just cooked. Look at that one, beautiful. I'm going to put a bit of coriander over this for a little bit of greenery. They're just going to be perfect for Bells and Wena. Well, to go with those tiger prawns, I thought I needed to make a really refreshing salad for the girls. And because watermelons are in season, I thought I'd do a watermelon salad for you today, and for them. Now, it's so simple that I've cut it all up already. I've got the watermelon here, there's a bit each for the three of us. I'm going to pop these lovely hunks of New Zealand goat's feta onto each one, put a few onion rings on the top. So it's all about making this dish very, very attractive to the eye and to the palate. Well, I don't know, but this is a turn on for me. Oh God, you've heard me say that so many times. It's food that does it to me. And I'm going to throw a few olives on here. So we'll just help ourselves to this when we hoe into those tiger prawns. And I want to just take the skin of this apple cucumber, which are in season now. Pop it over here. We only need a piece each. I'm going to top this up with a little chilli. Can you hear those cows mooing out there? I think they're hungry too. You're not getting any of this. It's for my guests. Now you might think watermelon and chilli is a bit much. But I'll tell you what, all those contrasting flavours and colours will delight your palate no end. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of my Cab Sav vinaigrette over it. And of course, I love this Olive Ends extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to put a few mint leaves over the top. And what do you reckon? That looks beautiful, doesn't it? It is so delicious. You're going to love seeing us devour this. I think I'll call this my sweet summer salad. Mā te tio ka koa katoa au. Mai te moa ana ki te tepu kai. Now, bubbles and oysters go hand in hand, and today I'm going to make a little herby paste with some mint, some coriander and some basil. I'm going to paste it up in my mortar and pestle here. So take them off. There's stalks like this. I'm even going to add a bit of the root of the coriander as well and get into it. This paste is so easy, it's outrageous. A little grind here and a little grind there. I might put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in at this point. Grind away. That has turned into a lovely smooth paste. And I think that's enough. I'm going to paste it over my oysters like so. Just like this. I've just heard the girls come across the kettle stop. And I want to get out there and meet them, so let's get cracking. He kairipoata a Wena raua ko Annabelle. Engari he mama ki te whakakotiti I a rāua. Mai te mahi ki te kai. Oh, come on in. I'd like to thank you both for coming and having kai with me today.
Thank you so much for having us.
I hope
this is the best NDO ever.
You could scoot back, nobody will even notice.
Yeah, that's right.
I hope they're not watching.
Us to anywhere, people won't have us.
I can't understand why.
We're such fabulous guests.
I must say, this is the best part, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I'll leave you to it, and I've already got the next one sorted.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll be straight back, okay? Waiho ake raua ki kōnei noho ai, titiro atu ai ki Pakiri. Kāri e tawhiti atu te kōrero mai te kai.
Mum's people tūhoi have certain rules around, certain types of foods, in particular the kereru. And that food is something that only women can eat.
The old illegal teagle.
The meat, the illegal teagle. And so back in the day, it was a food that was reserved for women only. And the men could actually, suck on the bones and drink the water that the bird had been boiled in, but the meat was specifically reserved for the women.
How did they cook it?
Oh, they boiled it slowly. It was a slow boil until the meat was falling off the bones. But they also used to preserve it in its own fat. So they would cook the birds similarly to that, or they'd put them in an umu, an earth oven, and then they'd do what they call pakiri, which is debone it. And there was a certain way of doing that. That's secret to tūhoi.
Yeah.
where they could pull out the whole frame of the bird and retain its shape.
Amazing.
And when they were in that preserved state, then the men could eat it.
Au e me kakama te whanga I a rāua, kua ahua mā harahara au mō ngā manu o te wā kāinga.
Thank you.
A little salad to go with it.
Oh, right.
Just fire away
Beautiful.
that if you like.
Oh, that's good.
So do you girls cook much?
I'm the only cook in my house. My husband doesn't cook.
Oh, he doesn't cook.
He doesn't cook. He doesn't do cooking. So yeah, I'm the only cook at my house. He just has a strict no cooking policy.
Oh.
But he's a whiz with the toaster, let me tell you.
It's good fun cooking for the family. We have some bake-offs in the office.
We do. You'd be proud of us, Anne. It's taken very seriously in our office too, our
Totally.
bake-offs. It gets really heated and competitive. You'd be proud. Someone will lay down the tono on a Monday that there'll be a bake-off on the Friday, and then come Friday we all have to turn up with our offerings. And then afterwards there's a heated debate about who made the best cake or scones or whatever it is that we're having that day. Can I just say that I do feel there's been occasions where I've been robbed, where I do feel that I should have won the bake-off and I didn't. But I'm working through that. It's okay.
Well, I'll just zoom on back to the kitchen
Okay.
and carry on.
Okay.
You know the drill. Yes, I'll be back. Don't forget to have a drink your inu.
E kore he kai mo te raumati atu I tēnei. Te reka o ngā tōmato, te maha o ngā hua whenua karakara. I tēnei wā o te tau.
Wena and Annabelle over there are just having a great time devouring all that gorgeous food. I'm keeping with the seafood flavour and I'm going to have some fresh snapper. To go with that fresh snapper, I'm going to be cooking some pasta. The pasta is going to be covered with a gorgeous fresh tomato sauce. Lots of flavours, and when you see it, you'll be wanting to make it too. Into my pot of boiling water here, I'm going to put lots and lots of salt for the pasta. Now we've got 10 minutes to make all this up. I'm going to take enough pasta for 3 of us. Keep the water on the boil. We've got 9.5 minutes to go. So what I'm going to do for my fresh tomato pasta, I've cut up an onion here, I've got some capers, I've got garlic and I've got chilli. I'm going to put it into my bowl all together. Very strong, beautiful flavours. Chopped up all these tomatoes here. I'm leaving all the tomato in. Sometimes I like to take out the seeds because it gives a more intense tomatoey flavour. But we do need a little bit of moisture with our pasta today. And with my herbs here, I've got parsley, basil, coriander, and a little bit of mint. And I'm just going to chop them up. You don't have to be too fussy about it. It's a little bit rustic, this dish. And mix it all in. Look at all those flavours. Bit of lemon juice. And chuck in some salt and pepper. I see I've got 7 more minutes for my pasta to be ready, so we need to get that fish on right now.
Whariki he te tāmure ki runga I ngā toenga mai o ngā hua whenua. Koenei tētahi āhua tunu I te tāmure ka kinaki ki te pasta.
And if you come over here, there's a little bit of water in my steamer, and I've got spring onions, I've got some chives, parsley, coriander, there's a little bit of fennel here. The fish is going to absorb all of those flavours subtly, and you're going to taste that and I'm going to add a couple of bay leaves in there. Don't be afraid of any flavourings at all that you really like. Lemongrass there. And now I'm just going to lay the fish on the top. Beautiful fresh piece of snapper here. Put some lemon rings on top like this. Salt and pepper it. All we have to do now is put this lid on to the steamer. Just make sure that you have enough water in there. Remember, you only need a little bit. And that should take about 3 to 5 minutes. So let's just check this out, the al dente test. That feels right. Get it out of that water smartly and drain it through a colander. I'm going to pop it into my serving bowl here. Just cool it down with that. Mix it up. You don't want to overcook the pasta. And the next thing to do is pour this gorgeous, fresh tomato sauce over the top of that. And what do you think? It's pretty nice. Just check this old fish out. And look at that. How glorious that looks. I'll just haul it straight out of there because, as you know, fish still keeps cooking after you've turned the heat off. Sprinkle some extra virgin olive oil on this and a little bit over my fish. And there we go. Hey presto. The girls are just going to love this. Here we go.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Jeez, what a treat. There's nothing better than having kai cooked for you. Oh, this fish is beautiful.
Oh, it's flaky. It's yum. Do you cook this kind of food on marae? Because it's just looking at the salsa and the spaghetti. That would be so easy to serve on marae as a side dish.
Mm.
They make us sit there and peel sacks and sacks of potatoes, and no one eats them.
There has to be another way to get your carb.
Yeah.
An easier way.
I sit there and
Feeling those buds.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring on the pasta.
So what are you girls doing this year? Going to continue working at Māori Television and...
Yeah.
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 Native Affairs runs for a period of 30 weeks, 30 episodes, and we don't actually start our series run until April. But in the meantime, we're stockpiling stories. We're out there shooting stories and finding stories until our start date. From then on in, it's just going to be all go, go, go.
Well, I'm going to zip off back to the kitchen. I've got a dessert happening. I'm going to do a dessert for us.
Koera taku hia. Ko Anne hei mama mōku.
Ai. Me pātai atu ki aia mena ka tae ia te whāngai ia koe.
Iara.
Iara. O, ka hei whāngai tūturu.
Oh,
Aha
whāngai
kua
te-
tō pakeke.
Hei ka maiti mana.
Ai, hei ka maiti mana.
Ka tonu atu ai ki aia mena kei te hiahia ia I tētahi housekeeper, live-in housekeeper.
Ko te kaiwhakamutunga, he kinaki miere mai te manuka. Kai. He nati me ngā paramu. Whai ake mai te amarito, te yogurt kiriki, me te honeycomb.
Just going to hurriedly do my dessert. Now, as you know, all my desserts are healthy, and this is no exception. I'm calling this one Pakiri Bird's Nest. You'll see why, and it's very, very healthy. So the first thing I need to do, I've got a little bit of water in here, just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is make a syrup with our New Zealand Manuka honey. I've got some organic ginger here, just put a little bit in there. And this should syrup up in a couple of minutes. It's reducing right down into a syrup. I'm going to chop these plums up next because that's what we're having in our desserts. Take the pips out. Now, like my pasta today, this is very rustic too. Now, I'm using this shredded pastry here. It's called kataifi. You must keep it wet. It's very much like phyllo pastry. I've already put it into my cooker. I've put a little bit of rice bran oil into my tray here. I've put this in like so, I'll show you, and spread it out like this. I've oiled it, put a little bit of ground almond. I've put it into the oven, and this has taken about 15 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius, and I've blind baked it, and that is the result. In the meantime, I'm going to add my plums to this, and once that syrup reduces right down again, it'll be ready, and I'm going to throw some amaretto on it, just a little bit of liquor for more flavour. And then spoon the syrup over them like so. A little bit of Greek yogurt on top, and just for total extravagance, chuck on this piece of honeycomb honey. And there we go, Pakiri Bird's Nest.
It's very pretty. What is it?
I've called it a Pakiri Bird's Nest.
It tastes beautiful, right? It's nice and light.
One of the best meals I ever had was a loaf of bread, no butter, a sack of kina, and all I had was a spoon and a knife, overlooking the ocean. I just sat there and sort of hoed into my bag of kina by myself. No competition.
What little waiata have you got for me today?
If I sang, you'd actually have to take your fork and puncture your own eardrum. So Wena has kindly set them with quite an interesting pau, eh, Wena? Quite a neat kōrero behind your pau.
Hang on. I want to eat this. This is really nice.
It's worth the wait, though. It's worth the wait.
I'll keep going.
Okay.
I'll keep you company.
Okay. I got my waiata from my mum, and she got her waiata from an old kuia from one of the tūhoi hapu from Ngāti Tāwhaki. And this particular kuia married into two wharetoa. And this kuia turned around to my mother and said, well, I know that you travel by yourself and that you attend a lot of Māori functions and that you don't have a man to stand up and do the formal whai kōrero and poroporoaki and speeches of thanks. That is probably appropriate at a lot of your hui. So I'm going to teach you this short waiata, and this is a means of thanking the people who have hosted you in a very special way. And it sort of encapsulates the earthiness of Māori humour, and also the humour that only a woman of a certain age can present. And she started her waiata, and it went, ka kia taku puku, e nari ko te waha kai rarora, kai te mate kai tonu e. And translated, and that earthy, robust humour that only a woman can deliver of a certain age is, I am replete I have eaten and I'm replete. But that old mouth down there, it's still a bit hungry.
Well, that was a beautiful waiata and such beautiful wahine. And thank you for coming today and eating my kai, taking that MDO.
Thank you for having us. It was the best MDO I've ever had.
Absolutely.
And thank you for watching, and kia ora from KAI ORA, and see you next week.
He mea tau toko nā te māngai.
Pāho.